Welcome to MAISHUU Mucci. Hello, Jim. My question for you this week is, our project for logistics is coming up soon. How should I go about it?
Well, Catherine, let's start with when I was selling these types of services to retailers or people that purchase things. So one of my clients was Manhattan Shirts. They were a company that produced shirts in Asia and sold them to the big retailers here in the US. And one of the ways I got the business from them, from other competitors, was that I would price our service per unit, the unit they were selling at, because I wasn't selling to the logistics guy. I was selling to the merchandising guy. And the merchandising guy is selling to Macy's, you know, I'm going to sell this shirt to you for $6 wholesale. And then Macy's would sell it $12 retail, right? So Manhattan would sell it per shirt, per unit. So what I do is I take all this cost in the transportation and convert it to per unit. Okay. And then I would add how long is it going to take to get there. And so what he was doing was he was flying a lot of this stuff to New York from Asia, very, very expensive, 30 to 40 times more expensive. And I showed him I could, using a ship and an airplane domestically, I could get it there, a couple days later. Because in a big block, because if you have a lot of these things, they don't fit on airplanes, they go on a whole bunch of different airplanes. And so when I would go into them, I'd say it's $1, 195 per unit. And it's going to take 700 hours to get there. So that he could then plan how much he needed to buy versus how much it was going to show up. So we're going to look at what the cost is and how long it takes to do something. So at the manufacturing plant, they have raw materials, they have manufacturing costs. So you have to take that into consideration, even though that's not part of the transport part, but it is part of the cost that he has to deal with in selling to Macy's. And so I'm saying, I can't read that, but I'm saying it's X number, it's X dollars, and it takes, X number of hours for that to be produced and delivered to the ship at the port. Now, a whole bunch of them go into a container. This is like a full container thing. Now, how much does it cost to move a container from Shanghai to LA, to Los Angeles, Long Beach? And that's a ship cost. And then you say, okay, in that container, I've got 5,000 shirts. I divide, $2,000 for the container divided by 5,000 shirts. That tells you how much the transportation is. And I can't read the numbers. So now it gets to the port. Because it's imported, there very well could be duty on it. Oh, there we go. I can read that better now. And so you have to go to customs and you have to say, okay, what's the duty on this particular item? And they tell you it's X dollars, 1,000, and you have a commercial invoice that says, okay, all this stuff is worth $10,000. You owe us another $4,000 in duty. And that takes a couple of hours. And they have added hours and some additional cost. And then you divide that by the total number of units, and I tell you how much per unit. Now it gets off the ship, right? Which is part of the ocean carrier rate that's on the ground in the terminal. You got to go get a truck and pick it up and deliver it. And that takes 96 hours from the ship arrival on average to the warehouse, to where it's in the warehouse. They've taken it out of the truck and they've put it in a rack and they've allocated it. This is the key thing they've located it so it can be allocated. So when you put it in a rack, you have to identify where it's located, the specific product and where it's located. And that has to go in a computer system. That allows it then to be, once it's located, allows it to be allocated, which means sold to Macy's. And the sales guy at Manhattan Shirts now, we go, okay, I see it's in the warehouse. I can sell these to Macy's. And then that gets taken down and moved domestically. And that's what this project is. How much it costs to do warehousing, how long does it take, what's it cost to do drayage, and you just kind of get those numbers and you put it together just like that. Too fast?
That's good. Thank you for your explanation.
You're welcome. It's not complicated. You just have to reach out to people to try to get, do some research. Much easier now to do it on the internet. And that'll give you some idea. I'm less concerned about the numbers being accurate and more you kind of learn how to do it. So we're working on a project on Monday night where we're bringing in a machine that prints ribbon. And the machine costs $500. And it's sitting in London. And we need to get it to Long Beach.
Mhm.
So we know the manufacturer, it's already manufactured, but it's sitting in London. I now have to get it from that place in London, that factory, onto a courier. It won't, not necessarily ship, it's going to be flown. So a courier will come pick it up and there's a cost for that. And then it'll be flown. There's a cost to that and there's time involved. And when it gets here, what we're doing right now is figuring out what the duty is going to be, what the cost of the duty is. And then once the duty's paid, it's cleared then to be delivered, and then it gets delivered to our office in Long Beach. Same kind of thing, except it's smaller, it's going the other direction, it's in the air. How's
I
that?
see. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.